My people, what up, though? We back with another episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. My name is Chief.
And I'm Bell.
And I'm Prentice.
And we appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with us. We like at episode 120 or something like that. So if you've been down with us from the rip, man, hopefully you have grown a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Leveled up a little bit. Yo, if you have, hit us up, man. Let us know how long you've been with us and the biggest takeaway you've gotten from our sessions and conversations, man. I would like to hear that. If you are an avid fan of the podcast, hit me up. Shit, you ain't got to hit them up. Hit me up, chief@abmnt.com, and just let me know the biggest takeaway you've gotten from our podcast thus far, and if there's anything else you want us to talk about. Outside of that, fellas, I'm happy to see y'all. We're a day later than we normally are during the week, or 2 days later, but we still getting it in. I appreciate y'all. Let's get this party going. P, tell everybody the good news.
I got a wallet.
This motherfucking parking lot till I find my wallet.
Everybody, I have great news, man. I have a wallet now. I haven't had a wallet in over a year and a half. Just been kind of winging shit, looking for my license in drawers, try to keep it in the same place. Try not to lose.
You didn't have a rubber band at least?
No, but I've really just been out here. Just outside with it all, man. So yeah, Sarai made me get a wallet. Shout out to Sarai for the push. I have all types of insurance. My heart doesn't beat when I see police in the car. So yeah, I'm legit out in these streets.
Out here adulting.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Was that supposed to be my check-in or just good news?
No, I want you to keep the check-in going, but I thought the people should know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally. I feel like we just recorded 3 days ago because literally nothing has changed from my last check-in in regards to my focus and where I'm at. Like nothing other than
positive stuff. It sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, everything is, everything is what it is. But other than what's going to lead up into the topic, I don't really have anything new to report.
No doubt. For me, I'm gonna jump in the middle, Bell. Everything's been going good, man. Y'all know my routine. Kids are happy and healthy, smiling and thriving.
This is random, but I just realized Mia got a passport, huh?
No, she don't even want to go to Canada. Just permission from her parents.
For real?
Really?
Yeah.
Is it under a certain age?
I think 16.
Didn't know that. That's good to know.
I did not either.
You know.
Yep.
That's what fuck me.
I knew back in the day you didn't need one, but
right, we about to get one. So we just got to send her with a letter from us saying that we give her permission to go to grandparents.
Yo, sidebar. Do y'all remember going to the corner store with letters from your parents giving you permission to buy cigarettes?
Mm-hmm. Mine was playing the numbers. I used to go to play the numbers.
Yeah, I had a letter to get beer from the corner store.
That which well, I guess it's all illegal. I was about to say which is illegal, but it's all illegal. Yeah. That's crazy. My bad. I interrupted your check-in, Chief.
No, we fucking old. That's what it is.
Or wise. Or wise.
No doubt. I've been locked in, man. I've been getting a lot of stuff done behind the scenes, man. I got some stuff coming forward with this poetry thing, and I've been moving. I don't know if I told the people that I am now. Did I tell them last episode that I got accepted into the Recording Academy Voting member thingy?
It was like a couple mentioned it. Yep.
So then that's that. But with that, putting another album out there, trying to get us back on the Grammy platform. Y'all get to come support me.
We're gonna be back. Yeah. I already made my plans. I don't know if y'all even told you that. I'm planning Grammy week to be in LA again.
For sure. So let's do that. Let's plan on doing that. You know what I'm saying? P, get you a new suit. You can't wear that black one this time around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I might have a new one. Don't trip.
I ain't tripping, but we got to get more wears out of these suits. You know what I'm saying? So get you a new one so we can style out on them. I've been doing some things, man. I've been in the studio a lot, been in my notebook a lot. I've been like busy. So it's good that the kids are away right now and I can get to kind of just woosah, you know what I'm saying, and really lock in and get some work done. Other than that, all is well, bro. All is well. Bellhead, check in, baby.
I'm good, man. A couple things to check in on. So the other day, I've been trying to push, not trying, I've been mentally pushing myself for like to do more from a running standpoint. Because I ran a 5K race a couple weeks ago. And that was the first race I ever ran, and my time was probably about 30 seconds slower per minute than it normally is. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. So from that, I'm like, I gotta just push myself to run more. So these, two joints that ain't slowing me down. And then I'm like, nah, I ain't about to do nothing. So up until the other day, the longest I'd ever run, and that was with a partner, was 4.5 miles. And the longest I'd ever run by myself was 4 miles. And I was at the office the other day, and I'm like, I'm gonna run 5 miles tonight. And then I was like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. And then I spoke to one of my the salespeople I help. He's like, yeah, man, I got a triathlon in 6 weeks that I totally forgot about. He's like, so last night I just ran a half a marathon just trying to get back right. I'm like, you just ran a half a marathon on a whim? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
savage.
I'm like, I'm down 5 miles tonight. You know what I'm saying? And I spoke to another one of the sales leaders. And I said, he's a runner. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, I just got into running. I was like, I probably run, 30, 40 miles a month. And he was like, oh, yeah. No, I do way more than that. And he was like, I run like miles a week. I'm like, okay.
Wait, how much?
20 miles. Like he does 5 miles Monday, 5 miles on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And on Sunday or Saturday, he does like another 5.
Are we talking treadmill or like outside miles?
Outside. And get this shit. He does it while pushing his 18-month-old.
Oh, he's a savage. He's built for that.
Or maybe a little older than 18 months, but pushing a carriage. I'm like, oh, okay. And shout out to Glory. Glory posted he ran 8 miles that day. So I'm like, you know what, man? Fuck it, man. I'm out here. So I just strapped up and ran 8 miles. And my time was 9:30, which wasn't bad at all for me. Or not 8 miles, 5 miles. Sorry, 5 miles. I ran 5 miles. And I'm gonna front. At one point, I was damn near walking, but I wasn't walking. Like I just kept running, but I was going uphill, and I was like, probably should have picked a better route. But I finished at 9:30, 5 miles on the nose and 9:30 on the nose. So I felt good. I wasn't hurting afterwards. I felt good. So that was cool. And then I didn't even tell y'all. So other night, Yop came to stay at the crib because he had a flight for the basketball tournament. And Yop is my man, Prentice. And he stayed at the house. He left at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the airport. And then I went to the gym around like 5:45 that morning. And I leave. I take Lorraine drives my truck. I drive her car. She calls me. I'm at the office. She calls me. She's like, babe, did you get in the car and like recline the passenger seat? I'm like, nah. She's like, well, see if Ty got in the car. I text Ty. He's like, nah, why would I get in the car? Bro, I think somebody broke into my truck and slept in my truck. Nigga. So, yeah. And my shit was in my driveway. So, and it didn't help that she left the damn doors unlocked. But there's been like break-ins in my neighborhood or my town. And, this is a nice area. So a lot of people, they leave their keys in the car. Like they leave their keys in the car. So there's been thefts, but people will literally just get in the car and push start and take off. Like there was no work required. So long story short, I'm tight now. Like, cause now I feel violated. Now I'm like,
oh yeah.
Like I wanted to sleep in the back seat the next night.
Hell yeah.
Sleep in the back seat and hope somebody came up in there. But anyway.
That's scary though.
Yeah. So anyway, I from that I ended up getting a ADT system. So they just came today and installed that just for peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? And there was a deep discount with my company, so it worked out. So yeah, that's my check-in.
There's no, I feel like that's the worst violation ever, bro. Like when somebody, I remember when I got my car stolen. To this day, that was like, and I got my shit back. But just knowing somebody else was in my shit, just it had me so pressed. Like I was so upset. That's scary though, but if somebody just went in your shit, reclined, and went to sleep in your bitch in front of your crib. In
But
your
the crazy thing on my driveway, and the crazy thing is I'm like, yo, when did they go in and when did they leave? Because me and Yop was up till like 11:45, and then he was out the house by 3.
Damn,
so
and your side doors right there too.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, but I got them cameras now. So
Yeah,
pull up now. You better pack a lunch.
Yeah, fuck around. You want
to? Long day. It's been a long day.
Word.
So yeah, that's my latest.
Hey, that's not bad, man. We had 11 minutes on the check-in.
We think the same thing.
We normally be 22 minutes in before we get to the episode. So It's going to be a quick one. I like that. P, episode was on you tonight, baby. Talk to us. Wait,
yeah, man.
He right here. Let's wait for Bell to come back, but he here.
I guess I could add this into the part that was a check-in, man. This weekend, man, we had a lot of fun this weekend. Just on some family shit. Sarai has some family friends. Shout out to Dez and Dale. They have a 2-year-old that had a birthday party. So we went about 30 minutes away from the crib. It was super hot. His parents' house had a nice ass house, man. It was the most fun I've ever had at a 2-year-old birthday party. We was all drinking, pool party, gorgeous house, gorgeous backyard. So we had a good time, man. And then the next day, we took Tahir and Anaya specifically to Great America. And the cool thing about that, the reason why we did it is because during the time of their birthdays, we had so much moving around that we were doing. I was gone a lot, so we didn't really get to celebrate them, I think, the way we both wanted to. So, you know,
what is Great America? Is that like a Six Flags?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great America is like a Six Flags. So Great America is the one of the two, the other being Six Flag amusement parks in the Bay. It's in San Jose. It's right next to the Niners Stadium.
Okay.
Like in the same parking lot.
Got you.
So we went to Great America right there. I remember I pointed out to you the time we went to that game. So we took them there. Their birthdays are in May and February, but you know, this is when it fell. So it was like, we gonna, you know, kind of redo your birthdays, right? And the dope thing about it was that I took them shopping like a couple of days before. And I've just been into basketball jerseys lately. And there's an outlet right across the street from the house. So I took them in this outlet and they wanted to get basketball jerseys. And these basketball jerseys are Mitchell & Ness jerseys that are dumb cheap. So I was like, cool. And they both picked the Penny Hardaway throwback jersey, which I thought was dope. I thought it was dope because, one, it was nostalgic for me. 2, they were picking outfits that they were going to wear to the amusement park, and they both picked the same thing. And I remember as kids, like, I couldn't get them to do matchy-matchy shit. You know what I mean? They're not too far apart in age. But the fact that they knew they were doing this, like, joint birthday celebration thing and chose to buy the same jersey and had no qualms about it, I really feel like it spoke to the connection that they have. You know what I mean? And one being 13 and one being 11, they're not too far removed. Like, they're not, their ego, there was no image in place. Like, oh, you getting that? I'm not getting, like, they wore the same thing to the amusement park all day. So it just kind of made it more special for me. I say all that to say, while we were there, bro, I had to get at Tahir because, you know, I gave him some instructions. You know, I've been really trying to give him independence, man. He's 13. He's going to be going to high school after next year. So I'm really trying to foster his independence. And I thought about how I was going to deliver this shit, man, because I don't want to divulge too much, to be honest with you. But I had to check him on taking advantage, essentially, of the independence I gave him at the amusement park. And the problem with when I confronted him about some things and being dishonest was that he wasn't owning up to being dishonest. And
One of them things where he thought he was pulling the wool over your eyes, and you're like, nigga, I've been there, done that. Like, why are you trying to play me?
Yeah, but it was more so, it wasn't that he was lying, it was that he doubled down on the lie, bro. Like, he was willing to take it to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was willing to go down with the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, go down with the ship. And I noticed myself getting triggered. And I had to breathe. I had to watch how I handled it. And so we ended up going home. The next day, he does the same thing as far as being out away from the house and making some decisions that weren't what he was told to do, and then attempting to lie about it. The very next day, this is Monday. So I'm super hot because I'm like, bro, we just went through this 12 hours ago at an amusement park. And you turn around and do the same thing. And so what it had me doing, man, it really made me trigger because it took me to to my circumstance with Just. And it felt so similar, bro. It felt so similar to when, you know, all that shit went down with Justice. And, you know, my biggest thing has been not comparing to Here and Justice. They're two different people, you know, but I'm trying to think how to say this, man, but I have a fear, bro. And I realize that my fear lies in me not doing whatever it is I should do or need to be doing with Tahir, so that I don't find myself in the same circumstance with him as I did with Justice, as far as dishonesty, as far as all these things, right? And I know I can only control so much. I know I can only do so much, but I think the severity of what popped off with Justice, I didn't realize how triggering it would be when I start to see some of them same behaviors in Tahir. So it got me to thinking just about the things that I'm afraid of. And I realize that right now, I think my biggest fear is making, I don't want to say the same mistake, because I don't feel like I made mistakes with Justice. You know what I mean? But not doing, I guess, something different with Tahir that I could have done with Justice to not have the same result or outcome. And I know he's going to make the same decision. He's going to make the decisions he makes as his own person. But because some of the behavior and the actions and the feel to me seem similar, I got to watch my emotional state and how I handle it and deal with it. And so it got me to thinking about our fears as men. And it got me to thinking about how my fears have changed as I've gotten older. The things that I fear now weren't even thoughts a couple of years ago, or as a kid, or as a teenager, or in my 20s, man. So that's how I got to this topic today, which is how does fear impact your life and the life of others? Are we indoctrinated to look at fear a certain way as Black men? And is it a healthy perspective to have?
So there's a lot in there. Before we dive into that conversation, as you were talking, one thing that came to my mind was, how often do you check in with Tip?
Oh man, all the time, to the point where I pay attention to it, because I don't want to oversaturate him with check-ins to an extent, because he's not the most vulnerable individual, if that makes sense. He's not like me in that sense. So they can be brief, and I don't want to feel like I'm having to extract and pull over, be a safe space for him to speak when I check in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think in this particular case, since you know that about him, it might take leading by example, even if it's just going for that walk and just giving him a story that may not be too deep, but shows a little bit of vulnerability. And then he finds some relatability in that and finds some comfort zone in that. But I would, like I said, man, maybe those walks that I suggested a while ago make all the difference, bro. Even, walk around the neighborhood one. Yeah. And I think the closer, the more comfortable he feels being honest with you. It was this quote I saw a while ago. I think you all see it. It's like, if I ever find myself in trouble, I don't want to think, oh my God, my dad's going to be pissed. It's going to be, I need to call my dad.
And that's what it is. I feel like he feels more like it's definitely, that's always his thing. I'm scared I'm gonna get in trouble. And so my approach is like, I try to like, yo, just communicate, bro. And to the point where I think it's backfired in a way, because when he does do things to get in trouble, I don't necessarily always discipline them the way I need to, because I'm trying to be that example of, yo, talking to me is always going to be better than withholding information. And so I feel like I may have jumped too far to the left on, the consequence area. You know what I mean?
So in this regard,
then I'm gonna say space.
If I may, I mean, again, you're gonna do what you want to do, but I think in this regard, the consequence comes from his inability to tell you the truth, not necessarily the action. It's the disappointment in being dishonest, where the consequence now has to be enforced, and he has to know that I'm not in trouble because of what I did. I'm in trouble because I lied about what I did.
And that's where he's at. I got to pick him up tomorrow from his summer class, and he went with his mom yesterday. So he's only been gone from me for a day, and this is the first time he's like hardcore grounded. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't even know what this shit looks like, because this is really my first time grounding him.
It has to be like, I mean, it's something that he's gonna feel, man. Like I was going through a whole situation. I think we all talked about. I called Bell's daughter, like, yo, I need help right now because this shit ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? And then you lay the consequence down, and it ultimately it changed the dynamic of what'll happen in the future when this situation arises again. You dig what I'm saying?
So what I did 2 nights ago, after he violated again, was, instead of yelling like I did with Justice, I did the fearful pump your chest dad rah rah with Justice. I didn't do that with him. I did a little bit, but then I caught myself and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I had him get in that invisible chair. I went back to my pledging days, like, hey, okay, get in this chair, squat, hands out, made him hold it. He was sweating, folding, then I was like, okay, we're gonna go to the gym right after. So got him some water, we went to the gym. I had him running and getting in the chair, and I wanted to do something where it was a disciplinary action, but it wasn't like me yelling at him, and something that would force him to have to pull something outside of himself. You know what I'm saying? Rather than me just bark at him, yell at him, and that type of shit, man. So I'm trying to figure out what this is going to look like. But I didn't say that part to for the discussion for today to be on him. Is really about the fear, because I really thought about, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, the shit I was afraid about before ain't even an issue to me no more. Now I got a whole new set of fears, and the things I fear most don't really have a direct thing to do with me. A lot of them have to do with my impact on other people.
So I got a couple things. One, there's no blueprint for parenting.
Yeah, man.
First and foremost. 2, I mean this in the most respectful way. Don't give yourself more credit than you potentially deserve, Prentice. What you said is I didn't make any mistakes with Justice. I didn't make any. You did. We're all flawed, bro. You did.
Yeah, I don't mean it like no mistakes like that. What I mean is at my core, like my core fatherhood, my core parenting.
So what I'm saying is your intentions were probably pure. Not probably. Your intentions were pure. How it landed, I'm telling you right now, I promise you, you did some things in parenting, we all do, that did not land the way we intended them to land, even though they were well intended. You know what I'm saying? So,
which is why I'm trying to switch it up with Tip. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I acknowledge.
Yeah,
so I should probably retract that statement then, that I didn't make any mistakes. So clearly I did. So
no,
I definitely own that. I don't even want you thinking that I'm on my ego shit enough to be like, oh no, ain't none of that my fault. That shit is absolutely my fucking fault to an extent. Right?
100%. And we as parents, man, we're gonna make mistakes. There's gonna be a lot of trial by fire. I guess my question would be, and then we can move on, is why did he lie?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, bro.
But did you ask him?
Yeah, and it's because I'm scared I was gonna get in trouble. And
why were you scared? Like, I would go down that path with him.
I did, and what it comes to is what I identified out of both of them incidents the other day. When he has it in his head to make a decision, rather than to communicate the audible, he chooses to go ahead and go with the decision. And now that he's chosen to go with the decision, it's like he commits to the decision and then has to stick with it. And before executing the decision, he won't communicate with me. And then he comes back with, I lied because I was scared. And my thing is, well, if you communicate before making the decision, there's nothing to be scared of. You just want to do something else. I'm trying to get you to understand that you can't just go and do what you want to do when you want to do it. There are parameters to this. So, you know, something as simple as I tell you to go to the gas station, get X, Y, and Z. You got your sister and your little cousin with you, but you want to go 5 blocks down the street and hit this different store and then want to get everybody to lie in advance before you start going to the different store about where you were. If you just call me and be like, yo, Dad, can I do this? It can all go the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I don't understand the I'm scared part. Like, bro, you're scared only because you're choosing to go with the wrong decision that you know is the wrong decision.
Well, I wouldn't tell him why he's scared. I would just get more curious around why he's scared.
I think it's also time for the not that you don't do it, but like the integrity conversation. Like, as a man, this is not what you do. When you tell me,
if I'm being honest, bro, he's at that age where I don't even know if like
that's gonna make a difference. I tried that.
Yeah, I don't think he's there. I think
it ain't in him yet. You know what I'm saying? Like he not. And I did it the other night. Like while he was doing the calisthenics, I was talking about as a man, we try to be honest, and I get it, but I get it's like planting a future seed, but and it's like planting a future seed, but he not there yet. Like that shit don't resonate with him like it does us. You know what I mean? Like integrity and manhood. He ain't.
There's something there with you and him, Prentice, that you got to get to the bottom of. Man. Because the other question I would ask his mom, like ask his mom if he does this there, and if he doesn't, then that means it's definitely something with you. And again, I'm not saying it's something bad. It's just something that you guys have to learn how to communicate through because there's a roadblock.
Well, you know what I did? I reached out to her, and when we hang up, she actually called me right before we got on this because I wanted to talk to her, and I was like, yo, I need your help. I was like, yo, I just flat out need your help. I said, yo, I said, as his mom, you're the next closest person to him, and I feel like I got some things going on with him that I can't figure out, and I need your help, man. I said, like, flat out. I was like, this is me reaching out to his mom, telling her I need your help. And she was really, really cool and responsive. Like, okay, well, let's get on the phone. And I was supposed to call her last night, but I was hella busy. So she followed up with me today. And I was like, yo, I'll call you when we get off. So I'm definitely not in a space where justice taught me to get off my high horse. Like what you were saying, like you did make mistakes. I understand that. But justice taught me, you know, that flying back and forth every 6 months that you were saluting yourself for and finally getting custody and patting yourself on the back all the time. Like, nah, my nigga, like there was a lot of shit that you didn't do that you should have been doing and needed to do in order to maintain and cultivate him the way he needed to be so that he didn't go so far left. So with Tahir, I'm like, I'm not making that mistake again. You know what I'm saying? Like
to play devil's advocate though, Pete, it's like coaching, bro. What didn't work for Justice may be exactly what Tahir needs. You know what I'm saying? It's just identifying your personnel and knowing how to coach them.
Yeah, and this is all new territory. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when you quote unquote fail your first time around, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't act like I don't feel like I fucking failed. Otherwise, Justice would still be here. And so when I say, Bell, like I didn't make no mistakes, I think that's part of me trying not to put all the guilt on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like to take all the
preservation tactic. Yeah.
Yeah, like I know I'm responsible for him because he's my child and I've been in his life all his life, regardless of how much it's been consistent. It hasn't been the same amount per year as his mom, but I've been there the whole time.
You haven't been an absent father. Yeah, I get it.
At all. So to you, Chief, like you saying it's like knowing your personnel. I wonder if I kind of hindered him because all my focus was on just so much, and this middle child kind of skated through during times when I could have been correcting him when he was 8 years old, 9 years old, 10. Now he's 13. I'm seeing shit that's resembling to his 15-year-old brother. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
But also, you said it several times on the podcast. Who was he spending most of his time with?
I know.
He didn't not pick up some of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I know. So I gotta figure out what to do, bud. And so
here, take some pressure off yourself, though, Prentice. Like, look, man, I had this conversation with Chief a while ago, just about like, as parents, we're gonna, and I'm only speak. I can speak to you guys because, like, my daughter's 27 years old. You know what I'm saying? So everything you're talking about, I've been through. And the thing that you kind of referenced it earlier, Chief, was like, I've been there, I did that. Like, well, we have to, and I'm not saying you were saying this, but we have to understand as parents, man, is our kids aren't us. They weren't raised like us. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes we project how we would handle something onto them. And then we handle it how maybe we needed to be handled at that time. You know what I'm saying? And they're not us. Like they're completely different human beings. And also, man, it's like, as much as this is gonna suck, you're gonna go through shit like this. Like for you, and that's the conversation with Chief, I'm like, there was something that happened. I'm like, this will not be the last time that your kid's dishonest with you.
Right.
That's the reality. We can say whatever we want. Well, they need to know this and they need to listen, man, they're kids, bro. Yeah. They're going to fuck up. They're going to test you. They're going to test the waters. And all you can do is communicate how this is impacting you, find out why they're choosing to do this stuff, and discipline as you see fit. You know what I'm saying? But for us to be we're not gonna be perfect, man. Like we're gonna mess up.
With you having a grown-ass child, like during the times of trying to figure that shit out, what I'm trying to figure out, what are like reasonable barometers of success, progress, and faults. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my problem. I don't have like a tether.
Great question.
You go through the forest, right? Like I was watching. What the fuck was I watching? I was watching some shit, and the nigga was in the forest. Oh, I was watching Alone. That's my show on the Netflix. But you gotta watch that shit if you ain't watched that shit. Niggas be in the forest for 60 days trying to survive 2.5 minutes. So the nigga was going through the forest, right? But he forgot to bring his orange tether string to go from his base to wherever the fuck he was at, and he walked like 5 miles, right? Had he brought the string to navigate his trail back to his base, he wouldn't have been lost. I feel like that's where I'm at right now with this fatherhood shit. It's like I don't have anything to measure whether I'm in the right direction. If I go backwards, can I stop here and fix that shit and then go? Like I feel, nigga, like I ain't got no motherfucking direction. I'm winging this bitch, and I feel like shit is too serious right now, especially with what I went through with Just, for me to just wing this shit. But what else do I fucking know? So I'm asking you, like,
yeah, I'm answer. Huh? So I said, yeah, I'm gonna answer. Like, great question. I'm gonna say something that's gonna relieve you and stress you out at the same time. So the short answer is, you won't know. You won't know if you're being successful. You won't. Because you can be like, oh, I'm hard on them. They doing everything I say, and and they turn 19 and they get arrested for 2 attempted murders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't know, bro. Like, and everybody parents different. That's why I said there's no blueprint. So what I'm about to tell you isn't a fucking silver bullet, because God knows, me and Bree, we had our issues, bro. Like we had our shit, and we had to navigate and think, man, I was a lot younger than y'all when she was in the same ages as your kids. You know what I'm saying? And I know I didn't handle it in real time the right way. But what I knew was, I'm like, all I kept saying is like, I'm just going to keep doing what I feel is right. That's it. I'm going to keep doing what I feel is right. Now, obviously, I had a different dynamic than all of you, whereas I was a single parent. You know what I'm saying? Like her mom was not involved in any capacity. So there was some overcompensation for that for me. Me and Bree just talked about this last week because she thinks I was really hard on her. And I'm like, no, nigga, I was like, I let you get away with a lot of stuff because you didn't have another parent. So for me, I'm like, I can't be too hard on her because only having one parent is hard enough. So I would give her some rope. I'll never forget the conversation that we had driving up to UConn when I was dropping her off. It was like a 20-minute drive. We got on campus. I'm about to pull up to her dorm. Now, mind you, I'm sending her off to college. And she's like, Dad, I'm not going to lie. I was expecting a lecture on the ride up here. And I'm like, Bree, you're 18. Like everything I've done up until this point should have prepared you for this. So nothing I say now is going to change anything. Because we put in the work together to get you here. Now, how this all shakes out, time will tell. But there's nothing I'm going to be able to tell you on the 20-minute ride that's going to completely change your trajectory in college. So what I'll say to you, Prentice, is like, understand they're not like one of the biggest lessons I learned. She's not us. Our kids aren't us, right? 2, it's a different time. So we got to get real curious, man. Like we got to get real curious about what's going through their heads because we did not have to deal with the shit that they're dealing with. And another thing I learned is we may minimize what they're dealing with because on the grand scheme of things compared to what we dealt with, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a big deal to them. Mm-hmm. So for us to ignore something that we don't deem as a big deal, but they deem as a big deal is a miss on our part. So that's why I was asking, like saying, like, we got to ask more questions, man, to understand. Same thing with when Chief referenced calling me and calling Bree that day. You got to get more curious, man. And it's going to be tough because you're instantly going to go to, man, all the shit I do for you, right? And then that's how you treat me.
The motherfucking thanks I get.
You know what I'm saying? Like your ego, all of that stuff is going to be tested, man. And you got to understand that's kids' jobs, bro. Like their job is to test you because they're learning the world. They're learning the world.
I am 100% with all of that. I am totally able to and willing to do that. My confusion is I'm curious as fuck, but how do I get that out of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't throw them against the wall and shake out answers. Like, because over time, you know, like
this is another lesson. It's another lesson for you. It's not gonna come on your time,
nigga. You know, I know that now.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen on your time, man. And here's another thing. Sorry to break it to you, but it's probably not gonna be you that gets him to come clean or get vulnerable. It's probably not gonna be you, bro. It's probably not gonna be you. You're gonna do all the right things, but it's probably not gonna be you. Somebody else is gonna say the same exact thing you say to him all the time, and he's gonna come back and be like, "Oh my God, Dad, you'll never believe what I just heard today." And you're gonna look at him like, "Nigga, you gotta be kidding me." You know what I'm saying? But
bro, I think that would be easier for me to accept if I didn't already have a child who's cursing me out and just on fuck you mode to his dad. You get what I'm saying? Like if I didn't have anything to compare what my possible future with him could be, that already is a reality in my life with one of my kids. That even when I look at the mistakes I made, I still don't understand how we got here. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it's not going to be on my son.
Unpopular opinion.
You get what I'm saying?
unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
There may be another father who's having that same conversation with his other kids.
What you mean?
Potentially, your father could be having that same conversation with someone else about you and his relationship.
Yeah.
Potentially. I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong. I'm saying potentially he can be having that same conversation. So I say that to say, just unpopular opinion and a thought, and they don't have to go much further than that. What if you reconcile with your father to really truly fully get a full circle understanding of what's happening
with me and my children?
Potentially, because right now you're a hypocrite.
How so?
And what I'm saying is, like, you're saying, like, I don't know how we got here. He needs to apologize. Well, I'm not saying you said this. I'm just paraphrasing. He needs to apologize for how he's acting right now, so we can reconcile. But meanwhile, you're not reconciling with your dad about shit that's still bothering you, and maybe the potential ways that you made him feel. And I'm not saying it's your fault, so please hear me clearly. But what I'm saying is, you doing that would be you being the message. Like, I should expect this because I did this.
Okay, but does this count? I just text my little sister. I told her in 2 weeks I'm gonna come pick her up so she can spend a couple of days with us out here during the summer. So that means that I have to see my dad. I'm not just gonna pick up his child and not speak to him. And when I see him, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, man? Okay, this is the plan. I'm gonna pick her up here and bring her back. All right, I'll see you later. I'm not on no fuck you shit. You know what I said? We was at Morehouse. I'm really like, I don't want to be on that shit." He didn't respond to the text messages. Okay, that's cool. I said my piece. That doesn't change how I feel. Does that not count for anything? You get what I'm saying? To what you're saying about being that message? Does that not? You know what I'm saying? If I've reconciled,
you didn't reconcile. It does. You taking shortcuts. It does. You still ain't communicating with him. You not doing to him what you would want justice to do with you.
The dynamics aren't the same.
No.
Because what he wouldn't. If Justice sent him that text, he would respond.
No, but what I'm saying is, you've been down the road where he did some things that made you upset and had you cussing at him.
His father, you're talking about?
And yeah, and that's what has me on a whole different perspective on fatherhood and parenting now. That's why I'm not as mad as my dad now. After that shit with Justice, I was like, you know what? I can't even say shit now. You know what I mean? Like, I got a son who's cursing me out, talking uber shit, just saying how he feels. What I look like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did the same thing to my dad. So I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really hold too much weight anymore.
So what would you, so how about you just do what you would like to see done by Justice to your dad?
And that's the point I'm trying to make.
That's not the same situation.
Doesn't matter, bro.
But it does matter.
You just said the way Justice is talking to you put how you speak to your dad in perspective, and you fell back. So what if the way you apologize put that in perspective for Justice and he apologized?
Me apologizing to my dad ain't gonna get to Justice. So
you doing what needs to be done doesn't matter if it gets to Justice or not.
But that's what we're talking about right here.
We talking about you being the example.
I don't have nigga, I don't have anything left. Like, I've sent text messages. I've said on podcasts, I forgive you.
But you don't have closure though, bro. Y'all didn't have a conversation.
That's not on me though. I'm doing all I can on my side for closure.
What I'm saying.
So Pete, real quick, let me just say sorry because you've been on the hot seat for a while, but because I feel right now, no, all good. But like the energy you just gave, I saw myself, and I know like what it feels like right now, and I get it. But again,
cry and get angry.
No, yeah, for sure. But I
like
mean,
you saw yourself like in terms of your dad relationship?
no,
Or
just
like,
in general, like just being on a hot seat and like trying to find a way to not hear you niggas. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find a way to.
It's not even that I'm not trying to hear y'all. It's that I don't fucking agree. It's not that I don't want to hear y'all.
And that's fine. But you got two people pretty much saying the same thing. You gotta let it sink in for a minute. And I'll be tight with y'all niggas too. And I'll be feeling some type of way. But when we get off the joint, I have no choice but to sit back and process it. And all I'm saying is, based on what we've been talking about, we've been up and down and around the circle right now. What it sounds like though is, even in the strain with Tip, we're gonna navigate through that. That's gonna be fine. But Justice is still awry. And what you're looking for is a conversation with him. And I don't know if it's spearheaded by him or maybe it has to be because of the way he's been talking. Mm-hmm. But you still have the obligation to do that for yourself.
Like, just get closure, bro. Get closure. Like he probably.
I want to understand what y'all mean. Get closure. How?
What I'm saying is this, Prentice. You're expecting something from your son that you're not willing to give to your dad. It.
That's the thing. Yeah, of course I would like it, but okay. I'm not expecting it because I understand he's his own person. He has his own journey. And this taught me that everything is not, like you said, on my time. So I don't have any expectation. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have an.
Let me ask you this. Based on what you just said, it's plausible that he could carry this to the grave, potentially.
Yeah.
Right? It's plausible.
Right.
If you, being the example, could mitigate that risk, would you do it?
Yeah. If me being the example could prevent this being a lifelong predicament, yeah.
So all I'm saying is, give to receive, right? Like, you would be a glowing example, and it will be growth, and I believe you would learn a lot from that. And I'm not saying you have to do it, because I can't imagine your feelings and sentiment towards your dad. But what I'm saying is, you wanting something and not willing to do it on your own, that's where I'm saying it's slightly hypocritical.
Okay,
and I know it's not the same situation.
Yeah, but I hear that.
The same dynamic.
My thing is, though, with y'all knowing all that I've done, how have I not attempted to do that already?
What I'm saying is, I do. What I'm saying is, you got to get it done.
So I have to go.
I hear what you're saying.
You weren't then. You are now.
I have to, by any means necessary, this bitch. Like I have to. So and I'm not saying this in argument. No, I'm not being argumentative.
Let's talk. No, we're good, bro.
You're saying that beyond me sending him a text message, hey man, I don't want no problems with you. I'm off that shit. Blah blah blah. Beyond that, and not getting no response, right? You're saying that I should seek him out however I need to in order to force a conversation that it does not seem like he is willing to have with me in some I don't want to be sarcastic, man, but in some like magical effort for the universe to bless me with the relationship with Justice improving. I understand the tie-in. Between my relationship with my dad and what Justice is doing with me. I'm just not understanding how you guys think in your head that me doing more than I've already done is gonna make that nigga any different than who he is. Like,
so I don't know. It's not. So you're looking at it wrong. It's not. It has nothing to do with him
at all.
Nothing to do with him. Everything to do with you.
So even if it's just when you go pick up your sister and you look him in his face and grab the nub, shake his hand, and be like, "Listen," and be like, "Listen, man, I meant what I said in my text message. You didn't respond, but I just want you to know I don't desire to live in that space anymore, and I forgive you."
Chief, not to cut you off, I'll give you even more simple instructions. When you see him, you look him in his eye and say, "I'm sorry." And see where the conversation goes. If there's no conversation, guess what? You've done your part as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, question y'all. This is not the fucking topic of the day, by the way. But
well, we got a new episode for next week then.
Right. Well, but the problem is, in real shit, I'm not saying I'm not sorry. So why am I telling nigga I'm sorry for something I'm not sorry for?
So again, my approach was just, I meant what I said. I don't want to live in that space no more.
Yeah, but my whole thing is this.
It's also true because that may trigger this nigga to I don't know. It may
listen to me, Prentice. You're holding on to this shit. Chief is holding on to his relationship with his dad. Like, it's baggage. It's baggage. I'm saying by you saying sorry, it frees you of that shit, man. Like, it's liberating. And you may not be sorry yet, so it may not be time, and that's fine. But what I'm trying to tell
I hear you, bro.
Like, yo, like, and this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not saying this fact. Both of y'all need bad guys. Both of y'all need bad guys. And I'm not saying I don't need bad guys. I just, my bad guy's not my dad. You know what I'm saying? I have other bad guys. But you both need bad guys.
That's probably some really shit I've never heard about myself.
That's it.
That's probably some of the real shit I've never heard about myself.
So, and I'm not saying that's just my observation, bro. That's my observation. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both need bad guys. Y'all both need somebody to be angry at. Y'all both need a reason. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying I'm right. Just maybe when you release yourself for that, maybe the fear is fear. Maybe the fear is you won't have the same vigor in things that you do. Potentially. I'm not saying that's true, but what I'm saying is whatever the shit is deep buried in your subconscious, because it's so many years of pain built up that you've now, this nigga done signed off. It's so much pain built up that you've now created an enemy. And now everything that you do is to prove them right. Or excuse me, wrong, or make them pay for not being there. And when you release yourself for that, now you don't have any potentially anybody to push you, internally.
Yeah, I don't think I live in that space. I've been, again, this platform has allowed me to heal in many ways that I didn't realize. There is some angst still in there, but I'm so much more open to the conversation, to it going left or right, and at least knowing I did my part. I just haven't sought out the opportunity to make it happen.
I'm not saying that's easy. I'm just saying it hasn't happened. And the fact that it hasn't happened says something. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm speaking from experience and nowhere near this deep level of relationship that you guys have had with your father, or would have liked to have with your fathers that you don't have. But when I tell you, bro, in my last company, the issue I had with this individual, that was me releasing my anger towards them. And when I tell you I was not in the wrong at all, like I did everything I was supposed to do. When I released that shit and wrote down my feelings and then saw him in person, when I saw him in person, he knew what he did. You know what I'm saying? And he had that feeling. Like, I don't know what type of time Bell's on. You know what I'm saying? I put my arm around him, like, what's up, man? And when I tell you, bro, like, that shit was so liberating for me. And again, not the same. But you talking about y'all, we're both talking about livelihood. You talking about livelihood from a development standpoint, from a parenting standpoint, from a father standpoint. I'm talking about livelihood like, motherfucker, you the reason why I may not be able to provide for my family. Right? So it's still deep. And I was able to forgive him. And apologize for whatever my shit was. Because I wasn't innocent. But again, I know I wasn't in the wrong. Like, I didn't do anything for you to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or if you were going to do that, you should have had a conversation with me, which you never did. You was telling me something that really wasn't happening. So again, him knowing how he handled that situation and him knowing me, he didn't know what type of time I was on. But when I put my arm around him, I'm like, what's up, man? How you doing? That was after I wrote all that stuff down and I released myself of it. Again, not the same situation. But what I'm saying is, when I release myself of that anger and that visceral energy, it allows me to focus on what really matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, it allows me to focus on what really matters. And that's just me. Same thing with my mom. Like, I didn't talk to my mom for 6 months because she did me dirty. And I was not wrong. Period. And I forgave her. Because I'm like, yo, I don't need to carry that. Like, that's going to slow me down. And I know that you both have turned that into fuel. I know you have. You both turned it into fuel. But now it's time to release that shit, man. It's time to release it. Let the boys and Mia meet their biological grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And just give them a second chance. Like, that shit costs you nothing, bro. It costs you nothing. Neither one of you. But you can gain the world. You know what I mean? And again, easier said than done. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just telling you. I'm giving you my honest, unadulterated opinion. I'll send the invoice.
Fuck out of here. Now, I the way this conversation shifted, P, and I know you've been on the hot seat for most of it, and I can imagine how you feel right now, because I remember getting off some episodes and being like, fuck both of y'all niggas.
Nah.
But
why you be so angry?
Because I'm an angry person, bro. I just process it differently now.
You know what?
Honestly,
Thank you for sharing that, bro. What'd you say, P?
I said, honestly, I think I'm just trying not to cry. Because that shit is true.
I mean, hey, man.
You know, like, I just feel, you know, like, I be hella angry, you know? Like, when niggas do stuff too, and they keep violating you, like, you don't want to let them get away with that shit. So you ain't got no choice but to use it as fuel. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's all I know. Like, if somebody violate me, I don't want them to break me. I don't want them to think I'm broken. So I'm gonna just take it. But I think that's probably the realest shit I ever heard about myself, was that, like, I need bad guys, and I've always had a bad guy ever since I was born. It's just that the person switches, and it doesn't matter what stage of my life it's at. There's always somebody who comes around and does some shit that is traumatizing enough for them to hold that position. And I think the thing that's fucked up the most now is that now one of them individuals is my 15-year-old son. You know what I'm saying? And that one I'm not okay with. You know, like, that one I'm not. I can't swallow that. So I try to figure out what to do with this anger, but you can't talk to people, because if they ain't gone through that shit, a nigga don't understand. You know, everybody want to be quick to tell you that's your child, but your child can violate you to a point that makes you very angry, upset, and hurt too. And most people
got
don't
feelings.
understand that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still human. Just because they're my child don't mean that everything is okay. It don't. You know what I mean? So I don't know, I don't know where to put that. To tell you the truth, I don't know where to put that relationship right now. So I let it be what it's going to be, in hopes that the seeds that I planted have it come somewhere else. But I think what really just hit me the hardest was, Bell saying that, like, a nigga always need a bad guy, bro. And I really do. And there's not a single one of them bad guys that I don't think about on a daily basis to kind of get me through hard times or make me suck my shit up when, you know, things are tough and got to get through it. But so, I mean, I appreciate y'all 110% for this because, you know, it puts my back to the wall in a way that I don't want it to be placed, man. And it just, you know, that shit just touched me kind of real deep, man. I ain't want to cry and shit on no fucking podcast, though. But
you're in good company, man.
I appreciate y'all for this, man. This is definitely, huh?
No, I'm saying your emotions are safe and you're in good company, man. I think it just speaks to.
I don't want to be crying on our podcast.
It speaks to, man, to how real, how real life is. You know what I'm saying? Like how real. Like we're not talking about shit in theory. Like this stuff is real time. You know what I mean? It's real time. Somebody just slept in my car a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying? And I swear, if I find you, it's on site. But anyway, just trying to lighten the mood up. But yeah, man, like we as parents we carry a lot, and the burden is heavy.
You say trying to lighten the mood. P, fuck it. You know, when you see him, just hit him with
First of all, bitch.
See, no, that's not the energy that we want. Like clearly, that's coming from a damaged father-son relationship.
Nah, I'm just fucking with the kid, lightening the mood. Nah, but yo, it's almost refreshing for me, man. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like we got to come to terms with no, not at all. Because I literally told you I like felt his pain. And it wasn't about the conversation. It's about being in that discomfort where it's like, damn. Like you just punching yourself in the face because the shit lands in a way that you didn't anticipate it to. You think what I'm saying? So it's comforting just because you sat in a moment of truth and owned some shit about yourself. And ultimately, I would like to believe that from this point forward, you move in a direction that continues to help you grow while facing some fucking difficult self-reflection. That shit is real, man. And that's been you know, the emphasis of our conversations. Like at some point we're all going, oh shit, I didn't know what I didn't know about myself. And now that I know that, I don't want to accept it. I can't accept it. You got to take it with you. And that's kind of, you know, where we all have had at some point in these conversations, man. And I don't think my anger is as strong and deep as it was at one point. Like I'm a lot more open now. Have I bust a move? Nah. Will I? Eventually. I do believe eventually I will, but I'm in a place right now where like I really feel like via these conversations I've unloaded some of the heavy. And that's a key step for all of us, but in this particular case, you, Pete, like I don't know what the next step is, but it's gotta feel like you've unloaded some of the heavy a little bit, just by like, you know, by going, damn, I've needed that bad guy. And at some point I might have unnecessarily poured on more bad than needed to be there. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just it's a testament to what we learn about ourselves and how we plan to move forward from here. So I'm actually very intrigued to see what happens in the next couple of conversations we have, or when you pick Shorty up and you just get a nigga a hug. I don't know, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a different feeling because you are going to be in a better place. And it doesn't really matter what he does or how he responds because you are now looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I would also add, man, it's not a destination. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's not like now that you've had this epiphany, I'll do these 2 more things, 3 more things, I'll be cleared from this. You know what I'm saying? It's a journey, man. Like again, that's why I said you're not gonna know how well you're doing in real time, bro. You have glimpses, right? You have glimpses. You have things that happen that, you know, like, all right, I'm on the right track, but it's like you won't know that you did air quotes, or you've fully succeeded as a parent until they get older, man. Like how they, like what type of adult you've bred into this world. Like, again, they're gonna be good, right, while they're kids, of course. But in terms of like you looking to ring the bell, you're not gonna be able to do that. But what I would say is, it starts with you, whatever that means. Whatever that means. Like, it starts with you. It starts with all of us, man. We have to be the examples. It starts with all of us. So I'm just further in the journey than you all. That's all. I don't have it figured out. Because I tell you right now, Chase, the path he on right now, he gonna have a probation officer at 9. Right? Like, that's the trajectory we on. So let me figure it out again, man. Second time around. So we'll see.
Yeah, so I kind of like when the check-ins carry the episode for some reason. I feel like those are our most authentic and genuine conversation when shit is just weighing on us and we can unwind with the homies and really get some clarity or some revelations, and I think that's dope. Let's wrap this joint, man. I'm gonna go first.
Oh, I can't fucking remember now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first, man. I don't really. I'm gonna say I'm appreciative of us and the platform we've created, because I do feel like there was growth tonight, and not just because he was on the hot seat, but it was growth for me too, because like I said, I really did. I don't remember what it was, Pete. Like, I just, like the way you moved in the chair and like your inflection, like I just felt, I saw myself, and I'm like, damn, that, you know what I'm saying? It kind of was a release for it not to be me at this point, but it was definitely like, something good is coming, because every time I felt like that, I've sat back and I've processed. So with that, my final thought is, get some people in your corner who are gonna hold you accountable and put the truth in your face until you accept it. I think that's the key. And if you are going to be that friend, apply that pressure and help your people be great.
I'll go second because I don't want to end this shit. I think, Bell, I appreciate you, but that's exactly what it is with me, and I've always known it. I didn't expect to ever say this or admit this shit publicly, but I don't know what to do without the vigor. You know what I'm saying? And I know I've had so much of it that I don't want the problems, but I kind of do want the vigor. You know what I mean? Because I don't really know how to be motivated as much by anything outside of it. As much as I want happiness, as much as I want peace, as much as I want joy, I think the idea of not having some of the anger that I do have, I can't imagine myself without it. The only saving grace is the fact that I have this new anger that I'm having to deal with in regards to my son that I'm not willing to throw on him for his development. And so I know I got to figure it out. And I never wanted to talk about it publicly because, again, people just don't understand unless you go through it. Like, it's a different, I don't even know if to call it pain, but like, it ain't even pain. It's a different type of something when it comes from your child, man. It's not the same. And depending on how you're wired and what you've gone through in your own life, it's going to affect you differently, man. But I definitely appreciate you, bud, for pointing out that I always need a bad guy, man, because I have, I think my main problem now with the people I have issues with is the idea of genuinely not wanting to give some of them another chance, but wanting to release myself. And I don't want the hug to have to mean that I give you another chance. I would like the hug to be whatever it is that's meant for me, but I genuinely don't want reconciliation. I just want to be free of these emotions, so I may end up trying that shit, but like I may end up fucking around and just giving them a hug when I see them, but I'm scared of the emotion that's gonna come with it. Like I'm scared that I don't want to cry again for this nigga. You know what I mean?
But you're not You're not crying for him.
No, I know, and that's where I'm going. At the flip side, I know that it ain't about him, like you're saying. But I may just have to do that and see what happens, man. Because to tell you the truth, if the universe will bless me with a greater sense of peace in regards to my relationship with justice right now as a result of me doing some shit like that with my own dad, I'm willing to do it. Because this shit I got with justice, man, it's fucking me up on the daily, bro. I just don't know where to keep it or put it or how to talk about it. Because again, I'm tired of hearing motherfuckers say that's your child as if I ain't got my own motherfucking feelings. You know what I mean?
And just problems and kids.
Yeah, and it's just not that simple, man. So I appreciate you sincerely, bro, because I'm definitely gonna have me a crying moment when I get off this motherfucking call.
Look,
which I
man,
think I do.
We all need them, man. And the thing is, just to comment on what you said real quick, Prince, before I get my final thought, like, regardless of the emotion, if the emotions come out when you see your dad or justice, whoever, they're there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're there. Like, they're just lying dormant. So I would argue that they probably need to come out. And what form that takes, that's, depending on the situation. But I would argue that they need to come out, man, because it's all part of the process. But this episode, man, I didn't know it was going to go here. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm grateful it did, because that means it had to. It needed to, I should say. But for my final thought, man, I had a final thought and I forgot it, but then I'm glad I forgot it, because I think this one's probably more fitting. Be aware of that chip that's on your shoulder, because once that chip has served its purpose and you overcome it, it then becomes a weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that chip then becomes a weight and it holds you back. It's a chip while you're striving and pushing. It becomes the closer you get to hitting that goal, the bigger that chip gets, and it now becomes a weight. And now what was on your shoulder to help drive and motivate you now could be what potentially keeps you away from what you want to get. So it's important for us to know why we're doing something and the motive behind it, and understanding whatever created that chip is going to come a time where that's no longer relevant in your life. And it's time for you to discard that chip. Hey, man, you may replace it with a chip, and that's fine. But understand that the chip has an expiration date. And that's my final thought, because if you don't get rid of that chip, it will find a way to get rid of you. And by getting rid of you is not allowing you to become the full version of yourself. It's my final thought.
I appreciate you, boys. Hey, y'all, we got a voice line. Hit us up on our voice line if you have any, thing you're going through in the moment and need somebody to talk to. Just want to text with somebody or something. 860-410-6160. That's our voice line. You can hit us up on either one of our emails, allblackmenneedtherapy@gmail.com. You can hit us up individually, Chief, Bell, or Prentice at abmnt.com. Visit the website, abmnt.com. Grab yourself some merch. This has been real, and I'm super proud of you fellas, man. We've been at this for a while, and we're keeping this train going, and it's super dope. And I'm grateful for you cats. Tap in with us, y'all. And per usual, do us all a favor and hug a black man today.
Do it.
And tomorrow.
Do it.
We out, y'all.
Peace.